The old train rattled along the countryside, its rhythmic clatter filling the silence inside the carriage. A young man sat by the window, lost in thought, his eyes staring far beyond the rolling fields. His name was Arjun, 26 years old, but already feeling like he had lived an exhausting lifetime. In his heart, a single question had begun to grow louder and louder over the past few months. What's the point of it all? He had a good job, money in his account, a small apartment, and friends who cared for him. Yet every morning, he woke up with a heavy emptiness. His days felt meaningless, an endless loop of work, scrolling on his phone, and sleeping. That morning, he had taken a spontaneous train ride to a small mountain village, hoping the change of scenery might bring him some answers. The train stopped at a small station. An elderly man entered, wearing a simple white kurta and carrying a worn-out leather bag. His beard was long and white, his eyes warm yet piercing, as though he could see right through you. The old man sat across from Arjun and smiled. "You look troubled, young man. Mind if I ask why?" Arjun hesitated. He didn't want to open up to a stranger, but something about the man's presence felt safe. "I don't know what I'm doing with my life," Arjun finally said. "I work, I earn, I spend, and then I do it all again. I can't see the purpose in any of it. It feels empty." The old man leaned back, nodding slowly, as though he had heard this before. "Do you know," the man said softly, "most people live their entire lives without finding the answer to that question. But sometimes the answer is not in words, it's in living." Before Arjun could respond, the train came to its final stop. The old man stood up. "I live just a short walk from here. If you truly want to understand the purpose of life, come with me." Arjun hesitated for a moment, but something in his heart told him to follow. They walked through winding village paths until they reached a small house surrounded by fruit trees and wildflowers. Inside, the air smelled of fresh bread and herbs. "Sit," the old man said, pouring tea. "I'll tell you a story. Many years ago, there was a boy named Kiran who grew up in a poor village. He had no father, and his mother worked tirelessly to feed him. Kiran was always asking her, "Why do we work so hard if we're all going to die one day?" One day, his mother gave him a clay pot and told him to fill it with water from the river. On the way back, he stumbled and the water spilled out. He returned home upset, saying, "What's the point of fetching water if it's just going to spill?" She smiled and said, "Even if the water spills, the journey to fetch it strengthens your arms, teaches you balance, and makes you wiser for next time." The old man paused, letting the words sink in. Kiran didn't understand at first, but as he grew, he realized that life's purpose is not always about the end goal. Sometimes it's about who you become while moving towards it. Every hardship, every joy, every loss, it shapes you. Arjun leaned in. "So you're saying the purpose of life is to grow?" The old man smiled. "To grow, to love, to give, and to leave the world a little better than you found it. If you measure life only by what you get, you'll always feel empty. But if you measure it by what you give, you'll never run out of meaning." The old man stood and handed Arjun a small basket. "There's a widow who lives nearby. She's ill and alone. Take this bread to her. Don't just drop it off. Sit with her. Talk to her." Arjun, though confused, agreed. He walked through narrow lanes until he found the woman's small home. She welcomed him with a frail smile, her eyes lighting up at the sight of bread. They talked for an hour, about her late husband, her youth, her dreams. When Arjun returned, the old man was tending to his garden. "How did it feel?" the old man asked. Arjun thought for a moment. It felt good. Different. Like I mattered to someone, even for a moment." The old man nodded. That is the secret most people miss. The purpose of life is not hidden in wealth, status, or comfort. It is hidden in moments of connection, kindness, and creation. When you give meaning to others, you give meaning to yourself. As the sun began to set, painting the sky in shades of gold and crimson, Arjun realized he didn't feel empty anymore. The old man poured him another cup of tea and said, "You came here looking for the purpose of life. Now you know. It's not something you find once and for all. It's something you create moment by moment, choice by choice. Some days it will be clear, some days it will be hidden. But if you keep walking with love, you will never be lost." Arjun left that evening with a lighter heart, carrying more than just the answer to his question. He carried a way of living. This story teaches us the purpose of life is not about what you gain for yourself, but about what you give to others. True fulfillment comes from love, kindness, and making a difference, even in the smallest ways.
If this story touched your heart, share it with someone you love. Maybe it'll help them. And if you believe stories like these deserve to be heard, please like, comment, and subscribe to Life Lessons Library. Your one click keeps these stories alive.